This video we will learn about scientific argument and a general argument. So what argument means and when we argue. So we argue when we try to convince other people with respect to something. So we have two types of arguments. One is scientific argument, other one is the general argument. So both general argument or this scientific argument, both we try to convince the people. Okay, how we convince, that makes the difference between the scientific argument and general argument. In scientific argument, where we convince the people by showing the proof or by providing the evidence to them so about something. Okay, whereas in a general argument where we try to convince the other people without showing any evidence or proof, just by our beliefs, we try to convince the people. Okay, let's take example so that we understand the difference between the scientific argument and general argument, and how the process of argument it starts, how we convince the others in the process of argument. For example, when we say that light is important, necessary for photosynthesis, so when we make such a claim, so make such a claim, how we convince other people. So in a scientific argument, we convince the people by showing the evidence or the proof. So to show that proof or the evidence, okay, we perform the experiment. If there we show that, so that light is important for the plants. So for example, we take a leaf and we cover that leaf with some part of the leaf with a black color paper, and we show that where light falls, that reason is in green color, where the light doesn't fall, the reason is in black color. We show this evidence, and we show this proof to the others, and we try to convince them that, okay, see, the light is important photosynthesis. Okay, also we provide the reasoning for this also, why that pot is black in color, why the other reason green in color, particular result, what caused this particular result, that means what caused that reason to become the black color. So the process we explain, and reasons we explain. So we provide the cause for it, so that means cause and effect relationship we explain here in reasoning. So the effect is the turning of that leaf into some brown color or black color, and now we explain why or the cause for this particular effect. So in reasoning we explain the cause and effect very clearly, and also the process, how that thing has happened, so that mechanism we explain. So let's take other one, that is a general argument, where also we try to convince the other people with respect to something, but we don't provide any evidence, we don't provide any proofs, but still we try to convince others. But let's see how the claim is in the general argument. So in the general argument, we don't say that light is important for this plant growth, or something is important for the plant growth, but we say that this plant is taller because of this plant is very lucky, because this plant is very lucky. So when we make such an argument, when we have such an argument, so we cannot show that through the evidence, through the proof, but how we can convince others still. So we can convince that still with our own experiences. Sometimes students, they appear for exam and they say that this is my lucky pen, and I got 90 marks when I wrote exam with the same pen in the last time. So they say that through their experience, they say that, okay. Also sometimes assumptions of many people or beliefs of many people. So somebody says that, okay, this plant is lucky because many people say that this is lucky. So that is the one aspect of providing evidence. So still we are providing evidence, but it's not a scientific evidence. So one is their personal experiences, the second one is the assumptions of many people or the beliefs of many people, and the other thing is even they provide their opinions also, because some people say that online education is good, but they don't provide any evidence for it, just that is their personal opinion. So these personal opinions, they change from person to person. So one person may say that, okay, online education is better, but other person may say that no, offline education is better. So these kind of things, no, they change from person to person. It mainly depends on the beliefs of many people and also their personal experience. So they make some claims and they provide certain evidences for also them. Sometimes without evidence also, even such evidence also may not be present, even just that is their just opinion only. So sometimes they give even logical reason for their claims. Okay, so in general argument, we make a statement like that the lucky plants grow taller, and we convince people that okay, this plant is taller because it's lucky, and we show the some other plant, we say that it's not taller because it's not lucky. And coming to evidence, we say that no, many people said this is lucky plant, that's why it's very taller. So such evidences we give, but coming to evidences, the scientific evidences, where we perform experiment and give the results, and these results are sometimes far for the our claims and are against for the our claims, whereas in the general arguments where the evidences are just their beliefs. Argument where we make a claims and we show the evidence by conducting the experiment, and finally we try to give the reasoning also for the that particular result also. So this is the difference between the scientific argument and general argument. So to understand scientific argument, let's uh, understand this through this experiment. So scientific argument, so where we try to convince other people. Suppose we would like to convince other people that oxygen is important for burning of a candle. So we need to provide the evidence. So our aim is to convince the other people, so it becomes a scientific argument. Our claim is that so oxygen is important for burning of the candle, and now we have to provide the evidence for this. To provide the evidence, we perform an experiment where we use just a candle, a matchbox, and a glass jar, and we light the candle. We keep the jar over that candle. After some time, we observe that no candle goes off. So from this we make a conclusion that we make a conclusion that oxygen is important for burning of the candle. So we provide a reasoning here, logic here, that no, what is the cause for the effect, that is candle goes off. So what is the cause for the why the candle goes off, that cause we provide here. So cause and effect relationship we establish, and also we provide the process or mechanism is present, that also is explained in the scientific argument. So whereas in the general argument, there we make a statement, or there we try to convince people that okay, that whereas a general argument for the same experiment, so where so they try to convince people with their lit the candle and they covered their experience, the jar, and also for example they say that their opinion, maybe the spirit of fire doesn't like glass, so that's why it cannot after some time the candle got be off, there so for a long time. If it is a scientific argument, be, so they say that maybe oxygen is required the reason, for this, so and they provide they try to convince this experimental evidence that oxygen is important. Also sometimes for, not their the opinion, of sometimes even their emotions also, they say that so oxygen is important emotions for combustion. Also they create so such some evidence like claim they can make candle and doesn't like closed environment, and they so give the reasoning also why that oxygen is important for the combustion. Their emotional guesses general argument, so they may be given as explanations so for the general the reasoning arguments. They simply they say so that why this is how we can see the difference between the scientific argument and the God or somebody argument. Else scientific argument we there we try to convince the particular people with the evidence with that is through the experiment, whereas in a general argument there we cannot do any experiment, we cannot we cannot do experiment, we cannot do God or somebody get the this. Same so or repeated this is how results the scientific argument so and general arguments this is about the scientific argument and we will understand in our next video.